असङ्गोऽहं पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्यशुद्धविमुक्तोऽहम् निराकारोऽहमव्ययः भूमानन्दस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्योऽहं निरवध्योऽहं निराकारोऽहमच्युतः परमानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः शुद्धचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् आत्मा रामोऽहमेव च अखण्डानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रत्यक्षचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् शान्तोऽहं प्रकृतेः परः शाश्वतानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तत्त्वातीतपरात्माहम् मध्यातीतः परशिवः मायातीतपरञ्ज्योतिः अहमेवाहमव्ययः नानारूपव्यतीतोऽहम् चिदाकारोऽहमच्युतः सुखरूपस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः माया तत्कार्यदेहादि मम नास्त्येव सर्वदा स्वप्रकाशैकरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः गुणत्रयव्यतीतोऽहम् ब्रह्मादीनां च साक्ष्यहम् अनन्तानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः अन्तर्ज्योतिस्वरूपोऽहम् कूटस्थः सर्वभूस्म्यहम् सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः द्वन्द्वादिसाक्षिरूपोऽहम् अचलोऽहं सनातनः सर्व सर्वसाक्षि स्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रज्ञानघन एवाहम् विज्ञानघन एव च अकर्ताहम् अभोक्ताहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः निराधारस्वरूपोऽहम् सर्वाधारोऽहमेव च आप्तकामस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तापत्रयविनिर्मुक्तः देहत्रयविलक्षणः अवस्थात्रयसाक्ष्यस्मि अहमेवाहमव्ययः दृग्दृश्यौ द्वौ पदार्थौ स्तः परस्परविलक्षणौ दृग्ब्रह्मदृश्यं मायेति सर्ववेदान्तडिण्डिमः अहं साक्षीति यो विद्यात् विविच्यैवं पुनः पुनः स एव मुक्तः स विद्वान् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वं मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तद्वद्ब्रह्म जगत्सर्वम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव नापरः अनेन वेद्यं सच्छास्त्रम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परः ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम् ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम्।
Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavitvaram. Om Bhadram Karne Vishnuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatraha Sthirairange Istuštuvagum Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedaha Swasti nastarksho Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. In this story of the two birds perched on the tree, one being the absolute higher self and the other one being the lower, and samane vrukshe purusho nimagnaha anishaya shochita muhyamanaha. The other one, the other bird, anishaya, thinking that it has no lord, it has no guidance, it feels inferior, shochita, it grieves, it goes through pain and sorrow, not understanding its higher nature, because it is consuming the karma phalas. Some are sweet, some are sour, some are bitter, some are good, all those things, muhyamanaha, and thinking that I am the embodied soul, this is my wife, these are my children, this is my family, all those things, thinking that all this is me and mine, all those things, muhyamanaha. Jushtam yada pashyati, when he comes to see anyamisham, when he comes to see this higher self, asya mahimanam iti vita shokaha, when it realizes this higher self, when it realizes that the bird perched on the higher branch is actually its own nature, its own higher self, and what it had accepted itself to be is just a reflection. When it understands that, over here it is said mahimanamiti, it realizes its mahima, not that it realizes the other bird's mahima as different from it. It realizes itself as that absolute being, vita shokaha bhavati, that jiva is liberated, and that is what that is where we left off in this mantra, that itaraha avidya janita upadya parichinna mayam iti vibhutim mahimanam cha jagat rupamasyeva mama parmeshwarasya iti yada evam drashta tada vita shoko bhavati sarvam sarvasmad shoka sagarad vipramuchyate krutakrityo bhavati ityarthaha. We left off over here that itaraha, the other bird, when it looks up higher, it sees avidya janita upadi parichinna, because of the limited equipment created by this avidya, the ignorance of one's own vasana, all that maya miti, all this is just nothing but maya vibhutim mahimanam, realizing its own vibhuti, its own mahima, jagat rupam asyeva mama parmeshwarasya iti, all this is just myself, the higher being, parmeshwarasya iti, all of that. Yada evam drashtaha, when the seer comes to see all this as his own mahima, that his own being, that person vita shoka bhavati sarvasmat shoka sagarat, from this ocean of sorrow vipramuchyate, very well, this person is liberated, they will never come back into this world. Krutakrityo bhavati, absolutely fulfilled, and when one is fulfilled, the vasanas do not torment that person. So that is where we left off these two shlokas, very important shlokas of Mundaka Upanishad. Continuing, this glory of the self. What is this glory of the self? Now, this Upanishad just very beautifully paints the picture of this Paramatma, paints the picture of the man of wisdom and the experience of the higher of the man of wisdom, so that we can internalize it. And in this way, his glory is pointed out over here. Yada pashyate rukma varnam, yada pashyate rukma varnam, kartaramisham purusham brahma yonim, kartaramisham purusham brahma yonim, tada vidvan punya pape vidhuya, tada vidvan punya pape vidhuya, niranjana paramam samyam upaiti, niranjana paramam samyam upaiti. Yada pashyate rukma varnam, when this self, which self? The lower bird, when that lower bird, the small s self, when it comes to pashyate, twice it is used, very well come to see, not literally seeing, the seeing over here is knowing. So we have to understand that over here, pashyate, sees, realizes, Gurudev says, meaning the one who in the seat of meditation assimilates the individual identity as the absolute identity is what is meant over here as sees. Rukma Varnam, this effulgent self, effulgent golden self is over here Rukma, the color of gold. So Rukma Varnam, this, it is not like actually one is going to see a golden light or a white light or anything like that, but we usually attach a very high monetary value for gold. Gold is a very pure element and it doesn't react with anything, so on and so forth. It has great properties and it is rare. So rarely a person comes to know, comes to abide in this golden self-effulgent. Kartaramisham Purusham Brahmayonim. That Kartaramisham, this Bhagavan itself, Ishaha, Karta, he alone is the doer of the whole universe. Purusham Brahmayonim, he is the womb of this entire universe. If at all this universe has sprung forth, he alone is Brahmayonim, he is the womb of the creation and the very world of names and forms. Who is the doer of it? Kartaram Isham. Isham, this Bhagavan alone, he is the doer of this whole world. Tada, that then at that time, Vidwan, the lower self becomes the knower of the higher self, and that person is Vidwan. When he or she assimilates their identity as the higher, Punya Pape Vidhuya, both having washed off the sins and the merits and the sins, all of these things, Punya Papa, everything, all deeds are wiped out. Vidhuya, literally washed off in this golden orb. Niranjanaha, that person without any taint, without any type of anja marking. So without any marking, without any trace of vasana, there are no marks left. That person becomes immaculately pure. This ego is none other than the marking of the individuality, the desire which makes the ego. It has all types of anjan on it. So niranjana. Paramam samyamupaiti, the avastha of the equipment becomes samya, and we are discussing this. It complements what we are discussing in Bhagavad Gita, that samatvam yoga uchyate, that person's mind becomes equanimous in terms that no other external object, situation or person can create a ripple, nor can any desires from within can create any ripple in the mind as reaction to this world. That is the samatva yoga uchyate, samyam upaiti. This person attains the equanimity of the mind. The compulsion to go correct somebody, to fix the world, to give our 2 cents worth of opinion, all those things a person realizes. Kartaramisham, Bhagavan is the doer. What am I doing over here? I am not the general manager. Bhagavan, Kartaramisham, Purusham Brahmayonim. That Bhagavan itself has ordained. If somebody asks that what do you think I should do, it's a different story, but the person is never compelled to go out and fix this world. It is not their job. They've understood in this way. The man of wisdom abides in the self, and the abidance in the self becomes, this person becomes non-doer. Pashya pashyate rukmavarna. When they abide in the self, the person becomes akarta, abhokta, and that is what is talked about over here. Yada, Yasmin kale pashyati iti vidwan sadhaka ityarthaha. The one who is doing spiritual practices, sadhak. Pashyati purvad rukma varnam swayam jyotihi swabhavam rukmasyeva va jyotihi asya avinashi. This indestructible self-effulgent self is talked about as Rukma Varna. Kartaram swayam jagatah isham purusham brahmayonim brahmachatad yonischa asau brahmayonim tam brahmayonim brahmanaha va parasya yonim sa sadacha evam pashyati. He sees that this absolute is the womb of creation. Brahma eva brahma yonim. He alone is the womb. So it is the technical way of understanding is abhinna nimitta upadana karan. We've discussed this earlier in the other mantras, that he sees non-dual over here, intelligent, efficient, material cause. He alone becomes the material cause. He alone is the intelligent cause. He alone is the instrumental cause. And when all three causes are one and the same, he sees the whole thing as the play of Brahman. Brahma eva yonim Brahma yonim. He alone is the womb of the play, is what is to be understood, that he is the womb of all this multiplicity. And multiplicity, how? Isham. He is Purusham. He creating everything, he dwells in it. The creation is not apart from him, the creation is in him. Actually, the creation is a projection on him, and that is pashyate. He very well sees it as illusion projected, and he is the Lord of this projection. And that is why Isham. Saha Vidwan Pashya. When he sees the whole thing is illusion, where will this Papa Punya remain? Papa Punya Bandhana Vidhuyaha. Very well washed out. All this Papa Punya is washed out. Bandhana. Karmani Samulam. And the whole karma vasanas, everything, samulam, along with its root cause. Nirasya dagdva, having burned in this knowledge. Niranjanaha nirlepaha vigata kleshaha. There is absolutely no kleshas. There are all avidya, kam, karma. These are the three knots of the heart over here. Avidya, kam, karma, asmita and abhinivesh. These are all the kleshas. Asmita, born out of that, is I-ness. And abhinivesh, because I and my is there is a fear of death. So these are the pancha kleshas. So even they are all wiped out. Over here, vigata kleshaha, jiva bhav has these klesha. The three knots of heart plus asmita and abhinivesh, that are the pancha kleshas gone. Rag, dvesh also is taken as pancha klesha over there. So in some places raga dvesha so Niranjana nirlepa vigata kleshaha paramam prakrushtam niratishayam absolutely, niratisham, samyam, samata, advaya lakshanam, dvaita vishayani, samyani yataha, advaya lakshanam, etat paramam, samyamupaiti, pratipadyate. In the Advaita Bhavana, they are established. So the Dvaita is not seen, and the absence of the Dvaita is the Samya, is what Shankaracharya ji is saying. Advaita Lakshanam Tat Paramam Upaiti attains that. In this way, this mantra talks about, see, these are all Nididhyasan mantra. We have to meditate upon these, see, when we do our sadhana of Sagun Sakar should continue. What is Sagun Sakar? Whatever upasana we are doing, the mantra japa, the small puja, and the dhyan of Sagun Sakar, of our own personal God. Along with the Saguna Sakar upasana, this Brahma Abhyas should continue. Both on parallel tracks, we should do it. Some people, Akhandanandji Maharaj's first guru told him, don't study Advaita Vedanta. Just do your Saguna Sakar Upasana until you realize. Until you realize Sagun Brahma. After that, you do your Nirguna Upasana, which is what Sri Ramakrishna Paramhamsa had done. Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, great devotee of Mother. Worship, 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 worship. In fact, he had habituated himself to worship Mother. It had become a habit. So it was at that time Totapuri came, his guru who initiated into Nirguna Upasana, Nirguna Dhyan, and he opened up the higher eye of wisdom, and he says even this Mother Kali has to be destroyed. So prematurely we cannot close up our puja and put it away into a closet. It doesn't work that way. If there is a question, Swamiji, should I do Saguna Dhyana or Nirguna Dhyana? If the question is there, Saguna. We should not give up Saguna. If there is a question of giving up, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan, should I do karma or should I do knowledge? If this question is there of karma and knowledge, that means you have to do karma. Throughout the whole Gita, Bhagavan says you have to do karma, you have to do karma. And he talks very highly of knowledge in all chapters. To tell him, you study this knowledge, you understand, but you do karma. Study knowledge, but you do karma. Study knowledge, but you do karma. Study this knowledge, but you do karma. What does that mean? So that when we are doing our Saguna Upasana, we have a clear picture. We should not, our puja, path, rituals should not become a habit. It is a sadhana. Sadhana is very different than a habit. You can cultivate the habit of taking bath every day when we wake up. Yes, that is a whole different thing. And after that, even the Sandhya Vandana, the rituals, it creates discipline. It creates discipline for staying steadfast on this path of spiritual unfoldment. So, puja, japa, tapa, karma, upavas, all those things have to continue to mold the mind. But the intellect has to be educated on the goal which is to be reached. And the more the intellect learns about the higher, and when the time is available for the intellect to clear the doubts, mananam, and when the intellect, even after removing doubts, is able to enjoy even a 3-minute silence, that 3-minute silence does wonders for the mind. It will bring chitta ekagrata. It will bring chitta samya avastha. That mind will become. So when we sit down the next day and we do our sadhana and we are doing this simple puja, we put over there, naivedyam is offered, and we sit over there, the saguna dhyan will become picture perfect, because the vikshepa of the mana is removed by the clarity of understanding. That is very important. That is why we must continue our sadhana. Saguna upasana should continue, and this nirguna study is for the clarity of understanding, so that we remove all the viparita bhavana. So that has to be removed, and only clear understanding of the goal allows us to remove it. And that is why this section is important. The whole remaining portion is just nididhyasan. Continuing, mantra number 4. Prano hyeshaya sarva bhutair vibhati. Vijanan vidvan bhavate nativadi. Atma krida atmarati kriyavan. Esha brahma vidam varishtaha. So this is another very beautiful mantra. Yaha hi esha pranaha sarva bhutaihi vibhati. Iti vidvan vijanan na ativadi bhavet. That is the prose order of the first line, first 2 lines. Yaha, this spiritual aspirant, he esha pranaha, this pranaha. What pranaha? This body which is breathing, which means in here while alive. Prana Shakti is there when we are alive. This Vidwan, while alive, realizing the Shakti which keeps the body alive, the Atma Tattvam, Pranasya Pranaha, the pranas of the prana, meaning this consciousness which keeps the pulsating pranas. He esha pranaha sarva bhutaihi vibhati. This my prana is the same as the pranas in all beings. This Atma in me is the Atma of all beings. Sarva bhutaihi, all beings, vibhati. Each one of them are revealed. Each one of them exists and each one of them are revealed. Iti vidvan vijanan, knowing that my prana is the prana of all beings. One is Aham Brahmasmi, the other is Ayam Atma Brahma. Not just I am Brahman, but everything is Brahman. Iti vijanan, that knowing that, vidvan, na ativadi bhavet, he doesn't prattle. He becomes silenced. He doesn't talk. Talk is about what? Secondness. So he's gone beyond Dvaita Bhav. He's gone beyond duality. There is no duality, and because there is no duality, talk about what? Everything is Brahman. So the person becomes silent. There are no words uttered by this person. The person remains silenced. And what does he do in silence? Atma Kridaha. Revels in one's own self. Atma Krida, sports in one's own self. And Atmarati, he revels in his own glory that he has realized. Realizing I am everything. In this locus, seeing everything and realizing I am everything, that all this is my glory. It's a wonder of wonder. And Ascharyavat pashyati kashchidenam, Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyaha, Ascharyavat anyam shrunoti, shrutva pyen. This person, Ascharya, Ascharya, Ascharya. How is this possible? How is this possible? Upon realizing, what will he speak? What will this person, in this way, he remains in that Esha Brahmavidam Varishtaha, is the best among the knowers of Brahman. Shankaracharyaji's bhashya on this one is very long. Yaha ayam pranasya pranaha. So he realizes, like I said, the self of pranasya pranaha, the one which keeps the pranas alive. Para Ishvaraha, hi esha prakrutaha, sarva bhutaihi brahmadi stamba paryantaha, itham mula lakshana turiya sarva bhutasta sarvatma san ityarthaha. He says, what is this sarva bhutaihi? Brahmadi stamba paryantam. Starting from Brahmaji up to this stamba, this one log of wood, everything included is nothing but glory of this Brahman. It is pranasya pranaha, pranasya pranaha. Hi esha prakrutaha. This entire world of plurality, Bhagavan, itham moolam lakshanaha, the mula, the root of all this is turiya. The fourth, this, other than all this Brahman alone is the support of all this. Itham moolam lakshana trutiya. Sorry, this is not turiya. This is in the Shankaracharya is saying Sanskrit, that it is in sarva bhutaihi, is in the third instrumental case, trutiya. Sorry, that is what is meant over here, that it is trutiya vibhakti, that take it as he is the instrumental cause behind everything. Brahman alone is the support. Sarva bhutastha, all abides in Paramatma. Take it as that. Sarva bhutastha, sarvatma, He is the very inner self of all. Ityarthaha vibhati vividham dipyate. In the various name and form it is known. Evam sarva bhutastham yaha sakshat atma bhavaha. In this way, everything sakshat atma bhavena, in the understanding that it is the self, it is the self, it is the self. Ayam aham asmi iti vijanan vidvan. That I am this self, I am this self. And that self which is keeping the pranas alive over here, it is the pranas of all pranas. It is the self of all self, and it is that self, vijanan, having known, vakyartha jnana matrena sabhavate. That person knowing this, saha bhavati, na bhavati iti etad kim. What does he not know? Ativadi atita sarvan anyat vaditum shilaha asya iti ativadi. So over here what is said is, this vijanan, vidwan, this knower of the self, knowing this, vakyartha jnana matrena, the word meaning of the higher self, but beyond that, having known as sakshat aham iti, that I am that, not just the word meaning, but knowing the implied meaning, that person then doesn't speak. He doesn't speak because he realizes there is nothing to speak about. Because the experience is, I am that. And I am that is everything. It is the support of all. Then talk about what? That why does he not speak? He doesn't speak because atita atitya sarvan anyat vaditum shilam asya iti ativadi. There is nothing remaining beyond this to speak about, because it is the highest experience, and the person becomes silent. That person becomes fulfilled, is what is also implied. He is fulfilled within, and realizes that that fulfillment, it is self-fulfillment. The others keep on talking because they have to gain something, they have to do something, they have to share something, but he cannot unfortunately give this to them. This pranasya pranaha is only known by that individual. It has to be known, it has to be known. It cannot be gifted, it cannot be shared. That is all. Yahatu evam sakshat atmanam pranasya pranam vidvan ativadi sana bhavati ityarthaha. This person who knows pranasya prana, the self of the self, he, in the knowing of the self itself, becomes silent. He is fulfilled. Sarvam yad atmaiva na anyad astiti drashtum tada kim hi asau atitya vadet. What will he talk about other than the self if everything is the self, self, self? If he realizes the other person is also self, it would be redundant. So sarvam yad atmaiva na anyad astiti. There is nothing other than Atma. Drashtum tada kim hi asau vadet. If he just sees this, what else will he speak? Asya tat aparam anyad drashtim asti sa atitya saha tad atitya vadati. If the one does not see this, if one sees secondness, manyness, then if he sees something second, then he will talk about it. But he doesn't see anything apart from Atma. Ayam tu vidwan atmanaha anyad na pashyati, na anyad shrunoti, na anyad vijanati, ataha nativadi. Other than Atma, he doesn't hear anything. Other than Atma, he doesn't see anything. Other than Atma, he doesn't know anything. So, nativadi bhavet. He doesn't speak. He becomes silent. He becomes self-reveling. Kimcha, additionally, after becoming silent, Atma kridaha. Atmani eva cha krida kridanam yasya na anyatra putra dara adi saha Atma kridata. Atma kridata, he revels in one's own self. And the reveling is Atmani eva cha krida na anyatra putra, the son, dara, wife, adishu Atma krida. There is no attachment, a sense of belongingness that this is my wife, this is my child, and let me take care of my child, and let me take care of my wife, and all those things come to an end. He sports only in the self. They are all in the self itself. So he doesn't take delight in worldly things. Tatha atmarati atmani eva cha rati ramanam priti yasya sa atmaratihi. Rati is recalling of something that has given joy to us and time and again reveling in it. That is called rati. Ramanam. The mind time and again goes back to the idea and mentally relives it. That is Ramanam. So over here, Atmaratihi. This mind doesn't revel in anything. The mind only revels in Atma. So mind revels in Atma. If mind revels in Atma, it, which is the progenitor of karma, Krida also stops Kriya. So there is no Kriya because it revels in the higher, Atma Ratihi, Atma Krida. And that is why it goes like that. Now Krida, what is Krida? Bahya sadhana sapeksha. He gives a definition between Krida and Rati. Bahyana sadhana sapeksha. Something external, the external object which is taken as a sadhana to derive joy. That is Krida. That is why we play in the world of objects. People play with their toys. So many Krida is there. Even the little child, you just give a touch iPad and they will be busy. Nowadays there is a new babysitter, not Sesame Street. So you give them this, they are busy. Krida. Atma ratistu sadhana nirapeksha bahya vishaya priti matramiti visheshaha. Krida is the A rati is absence of objects. The priti on the inside, devoid of the dependence of objective reality, is the rati. Krida, external, rati, internal. So in that way, ratistu sadhana nirapeksha, not depending on any instrument, any object. Bahya vishaya priti matram iti, and that external object, without depending upon it, but recalling that object on the inside and reveling in it, is rati. Tatha kriyavanshcha jnana dhyana vairagyadi kriya yasya so ayam kriyavan. What is the kriyavan? Kriyavan, this up to Atma Krida happens. What does he do? Jnana, Dhyan, Vairagyadi Lakshana becomes his kriya. That for a sadhak, for a spiritual aspirant, Krida has to continue, play. But what kind of play? Over here it is said, Jnana, getting knowledge, Dhyan, meditation, Vairagya, developing dispassion, Kriya yasyaha saha ayam kriyavan. But upon reaching it, what Vairagya? He's attained it. So even Vairagya, Dhyan, Karma, all this becomes redundant. Samasa patha atmaratireva kriyasya vidyate iti. Now there is a bahuvrihi matup arthaha anyataha itarecha. There is also another way of taking look at the samas, atmarati kriyavan. That this person does the kriya of reveling in the self. So that also is, we can take that atmarati eva yasya krida, his sport becomes the reveling on the self. That can also be taken. Shankaracharya ji is taking. Okay, now he is taking Jnana Karma Samuchaya because Kriya came. So the Purva Pakshi we saw in that big chart of the philosophies on Saturday, Jaimini Maharshi ji is the one where Purva Mimamsa, so Purva Paksha, he will talk about karma. No. Over here, see, karma has to be done of Atma. What karma of Atma? Kechit Agnihotradi karma Brahma Vidyayoho Samuchayartham Icchanti. Some people say that Agnihotradi karma and Brahma Jnana, there is a samuchaya of these two. Samuchaya, that both of this are to be practiced and they are both considered to be equal and same. So he said, no. It is samuchaya khandanam. He will do the khandanam. Tacha esha brahmavidam varishtam iti anena mukhyartha vachanena virudhyate. He said over here itself, it is said that esha brahmavidam varishtaha. The knower of the self is the highest. Varishtaha. So, where is the Agnihotradi karma over here? It was never said that Agnihotradi karma is varishtam. So, esha brahmavidam varishtaha. Only the knower of the self is the greatest. So, what karma are you talking about? Nahi bahya kriyavan atma krida bahya kriyavan, one when one comes to know the self, the outside karma, he doesn't revel in it, including your Agnihotradi karma. This, he doesn't revel in that. Kaschit bahya kriya vinivruttaha he atma krida bhavati bahya kriya atma kriya virodhat. Because the atma krida is knowing. In knowing, there is no doing. In bahya kriya, it is knowing plus doing. Just lighting a fire and throwing things in it is not Agnihotradi karma. You have to know the ritual, and then knowing the ritual is not enough. Oh, I know Agnihotradi ritual, but we will not get the fruit of the Agnihotradi ritual if I know it. The knowing has to be followed up by doing. In Brahmagyan, there is only knowing. There is no doing of Brahmagyan. It is not a karma. Shift my attention, I am Atma. Bas, what else is required? But to shift the attention of the mind, which has owned up, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, I am the man, I am the woman, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. All these upadhis, to remove it, there is an education of Brahma Vidya which says, I am not the five elements, I am not the body. And upasana has to be done to discipline the mind to know I am the self. But all that upasana is only for preparing the mind. Upasana is not for Brahmagyan. Spiritual practices are not for Brahmagyan. We have to be very clear. Spiritual practices are for the preparation. And when it is prepared and it is told, you are Brahman. Right now also we've heard so many times, we are Brahman, we are Brahman. But nothing happens. But when it is prepared and it is said, you are Brahman, finished. No doing. Atmagnan is knowing. That is all. Bahya krida vinivrattahi atma krida bhavati. Bahya krida atma krida kridayoho virodhat. They are two different things. Atma krida and bahya krida are two different things. Bahya krida is called pravrutti, movement. Inside krida is called nivrutti, knowing. I'm giving up all to know. That is a virod. That is a difference between the two. Nahi tama prakashayoho yugapadena sthitihi sambhavati. Darkness and light, they both cannot exist at the same time. They are like that. Atma krida, bahya krida and atma krida. Bahya krida, darkness. Atma krida, light. There is krida. I use the Sanskrit word krida, play, reveling. Outside play is doing, inside play is reveling. Reveling and doing are two different things. That is what Shankaracharya ji is saying. Tasmad asat palipatena एव एतद् अनेन ज्ञानकर्म समुच्चय प्रतिपादनम् अन्यावाचो विमुञ्चथ इति मुण्डक उपनिषदे संन्यास योगात् यतय शुद्ध सत्वाः इति इत्यादि श्रुतिभ्य that all these things is in Atma Krida and Bahya Krida are two different things. That Sannyasa Yogat, the person walks the path of sannyas, Yataya Shuddha Sattva, for the sake of creating Shuddha Sattva. All that is there, but knowing is different from that. Tasmad ayam eva iha kriyavan jnana dhyanadi kriya va na sambhinna arya maryada sannyasi. So the sannyasi doesn't cross the maryada of jnana dhyana kriya. The sannyasi abides in meditation, knowledge, meditation. That itself becomes the kriya of sannyasi until the Shuddha Sattva is reached. And once the Shuddha Sattva is reached, that person knows I am. So this is Arya Lakshan. Arya Lakshan, the one who has purified, the one who has become noble is called Arya. Yaha evam lakshanaha na ativadi atmakrida atmaratihi kriyavan brahmanishtaha sa brahmavidam sarvesham varishtaha pradhanaha. That person is brahmanishtha. That person abides in brahmajnana. So in this way, Shankaracharya ji gets an opportunity for this Jnana Karma Samuchaya Khandanam. He says Jnana is one thing, Karma is another thing, and he sets the places for the two of them. We will continue on Thursday. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Can we create a WhatsApp group for Vedanta class? So then I can just send out a quick message. I may have meeting or something like that in San Antonio and paperwork to do. So if I have to, I would try all my best not to cancel classes, but if I have to travel and do, then I'm going to have to. Because if I do text, I can only do 10 at a time. So I will add even. So